Diaz here on Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. In the streets of New York as tens of thousands march from Foley Square in downtown Manhattan to the Occupy Wall Street encampment. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez.
Well, students also made up a large contingent of Wednesday's march in support of Occupy Wall Street. A national day of student walkouts was held to protest budget cuts and to show support for those there at Zuccotti Park and Occupy Wall Street. According to the website, occupycolleges.org, walkouts occurred at 75 schools across the nation, including many in New York City. Democracy Now! Met up with several students who walked out of classes at the City University of New York, the New School, and New York University to attend Wednesday's protest.
My name is Connor Tomas Reed, and I'm a student here at the Graduate Center, and I teach writing composition at Baruch College in CUNY. Students have historically been a tremendous catalyst. When the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee had really taken up the charge of leading the desegregation lunch counter campaigns, people talked about these lunch counter sit-ins spreading like a fever. And the same thing happened here today. There was a coalition of CUNY and SUNY students who initially called the walkout for today to be a state walkout October 5th, and this is totally ballooned, where there are now students from dozens of different campuses who are latching on, and similarly it's spreading like a fever. I think that a lot of students are in the direct lines of seeing how this economic crisis is selling people a really terrible bill of goods. People get the impression that they're able to go to school and then have a well-paying job afterwards, some semblance of security, some semblance of inclusion in a professional, responsible life. And what's happening, we've seen a lot. What we've seen a lot with, students across the sea in Europe and students in Puerto Rico, in Chile, is that this is really a mirage.
My name is Madonna Romero. I study here, and I think this is part of what is going on throughout Europe and also in South America. I mean, people are fed up with what's going on, and they need that space that I'm telling you, because the political parties are not providing, they are not showing the voice of the people, but they are, mainly look for the benefit of the bigger corporations. So I think what I would do, or what I was doing in Spain, and what I would like to do here is that, try to find new ways of building a better society.
Veronica Taylor. I'm actually with the New School for General Studies, and we're out here to protest against the government, and we're marching to Wall Street to occupy. I have no job. I just went on an interview earlier today, and God willing, I will get the job, but they say they'll call me, so you know how that goes. For the past year, I have been a professional flyer distributor, which is maybe a notch above consultant. So yeah, this is how I've been making my money, piecemeal as a freelance flyer distributor. As far as student debt is concerned, the more debt that we accrue and still are not able to get jobs after we graduate, kind of doesn't make any sense, does it? How are we even going to be able to pay back that debt if we don't have jobs?
My name is Brandon Owens, and I'm out here because I'm a broke student, and I think it's crazy how much school costs, and I think it's crazy that 99% of the population isn't in control of their own wealth. That 1% of the population has a majority of the money, and it's not being fairly distributed. I'm $50,000 in debt for 2 years of school with no clue how I'm going to make or pay that money back when I graduate, and that's unfortunate, I have to pay all this money just to get a good job, with no certainty of that.
My name is Tednagaraja, and I'm a student at New York University. NYU students are mobilizing today to support Occupy Wall Street, and it's an especially important day with the community labor mobilization, where people who've been doing long-term labor organizing, housing organizing, racial justice organizing in communities in all 5 boroughs in New York City are turning out to support Occupy Wall Street, so we can really bring national attention and really get a fire going in our broader movements while we take leadership from and support people that are doing long-term organizing in their workplaces and in their communities communities so we can really win larger victories for justice based on the leadership of these struggles that have been going on since before 2008 and need to really go forward to get us out of this current rut and towards a broader victories.
Voices of the students who joined with the tens of thousands in Foley Square in downtown Manhattan, surrounded by the courts as union leaders gave their speeches. Then people marched from the square to Liberty Plaza, where the encampment called Occupy Wall Street has been for the last 3 weeks. We're standing in a march from the Union Rally to the Occupy Wall Street encampment, where somewhere along Broadway, thousands, tens of thousands of people are marching. What's your name?
My name is Robin Kaplan.
And where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Canada, but I've been living in the States for 2 years now.
What do you think of the media coverage of this?
I think the media coverage is focused on the incoherency of the message. My thoughts on this is that the American people have been asleep for the last 35 years. This is them finally figuring out how to collectively organize, how to move together as one. And then as time progresses, people will become more organized and start forming different factions and having more singular demands.
What is the sign you're saying? What is the sign you're holding?
My sign says that we're approaching $1 trillion in student debt. We have a reported rate of 9.1% unemployment, which is pretty false as it is. And